bearing in mind the limitation of the timing, I'm going to give a whistle-stop journey on how the Mihai Eminescu Trust began, and how it then evolved, first of all from helping philosophers, academics, historians who'd been thrown out of their jobs because they didn't toe the party line in the communist period, and then how it evolved into something quite different, which you'll see at the end, which is why I think it's good to have darkness, because the coloured photographs are all beautiful. So the first photograph really just shows that this is how I was politicized, really, way back in 1968. My husband, who had only been married for about 3 months, when I was 20, he was sent to cover the arrival of the army from the Soviet Union into Prague. It was the Prague Spring. Dubček was still there. He discovered them in the fields and in the forests, and he was then arrested and kept under 24-hour arrest, which I had heard about. I was very, very worried, obviously. And he then was thrown out over the border, and he wrote up his piece. So that's how I got this. I know we now jump to way into the 80s. I understood what was happening from that moment and did quite a lot of research into the history of the whole past from 1940s. I'm now competing a little bit with Andrew Noble's photographs to show what greeted me when I arrived in '86. The next photograph shows the slow growth of this extraordinary palace, as we know, the biggest in the world. And then the next photograph shows the rubble and actually the sheer destruction of the heart and centre of this beautiful city. I'm afraid the Paris of the North, which it once was, just wept. And the reason why I learned about it was that Sherbet Cantacuzino, rather wonderful immigrant from Romania to England, whose relations had gone back centuries and centuries, all his tombs and his buildings that his ancestors were living were being razed to the ground, and he wrote a letter to the Times, and that's how I first started to learn about it. I'd already been working with these philosophers in 3 other countries, in Czechoslovakia, in Poland, and in Hungary. And I said to these British philosophers from Oxford and Cambridge who'd set up these things, and I joined them, that let's now help Romania. This is a terrifying place, the more I read. They said, no, sorry, we've got our day jobs, we can't go on doing night jobs and helping in these other countries as well. So this, by the way, is part of what would be happening to 13,000 villages. I'm sure you all know that were going to be destroyed in the process of systematization. This wonderful word, which actually does exist in the dictionary, but one had never heard it before, that it was razing to the ground 13,000 villages. The first person I went to visit outside Bucharest, having first seen Andrei Pleshu and Gabriel Icianu, I just knew about them, but I hadn't visited them, was Professor Noica. And I do think you should all realize that this man was one of the most wonderful of all philosophers of your country, a really important figure. He was under house arrest, he'd been in prison for 6 years, but he continued on living in truth, as Havel so beautifully put it. And I went to visit him in the hills above Sibiu, and he said, yes, it would be valuable if you do what you're intending to do. And it was he who first told me about how the Saxon villages in the heart of Romania were being particularly targeted, to being razed to the ground. And just go back one step, if you can go back. Backwards. Backwards, that's forward. Yes. Well, this is where the villagers were all going to be housed. Homo Sovieticus was being created. Please read more about Homo Sovieticus. It was the new man, where the Marxist dogma was going to create this new man, and it was so important that history would be destroyed, which is why I'm concentrating on buildings today. History could be totally obliterated, and then you could create this new man from the Soviet Union. So next photograph shows how we joined the, it was a booklet we produced, but the next photograph shows the booklet and how we joined this other group of people in other parts of Western Europe to try and protect the villages. And next photograph shows that in 1993 was the moment when I could finally drive into seeing all these villages that Professor Leuker had mentioned. And the reason why, in the end, we concentrated on them, because I could have done many other parts of Romania, but there was a state of emergency here, and communism had gone for just one, perhaps only for a few months, they believed, and they had to do a mass exodus. They left their country en bloc, this wonderful community of 250 villages, the Siebenbergen, it was known as, 7 towns. They literally evacuated en bloc to Germany, leaving behind very, very few people who didn't want to leave. So as we're now seeing some of the beauty of the villages, extraordinary layout of villages we saw in the early photograph, unique in a way, in that each road, 3 roads in each village, very long, would lead up to a fortified church. And this is Biskri, and this is a fortified church in Biskri, and the next one is in Almaviv, where incidentally we've done a lot of work in the last 3 years, and we've restored 8 of the towers, and we're now about to restore the church itself inside. And the next photograph is just now a few photographs to show you why we found it important to save village and houses, not only the grand, big ones, but small and big. This was the bell tower outhouse, and a beautiful little village called Floresht. And the next one shows you and the next one shows you now the deterioration, literally in 3 years after the fall of communism, the very strong summers and the very hot winters, and the evacuation of the population from these villages had meant that everything was deteriorating, and incredible beauty was in these churches, and extraordinary workmanship in every way, the icon, every form of church beauty. But this is another example of just the houses behind. As you all know these probably villages very well. Behind is a long line of where the sheep and the cattle and the hens would be, and then the grandparents, when they got too old to farm, would be also in another part of the back, and it would then lead up into the hills. And the next one is to show you part of our restoration, and the next one is to show you our old Frau Ferdinand. I thought I'd bring a little bit of humanity into this. She lived opposite Caroline Ferdinand, who's taking over the trust and has taken it over as from yesterday, really, for continuation. I'm handing the trust over. This is old Frau Ferdinand, no relation to her. Everyone was called Ferdinand in the village of Biskri, and she lived opposite her, and she her house was falling down, and we brought in, one of the points was to actually train the villagers to relearn their ancient crafts, which had all been obliterated under Ceausescu. Concrete and plastic were the new materials, utterly destroying the harmony of the villages. So here we see her house, very, very dilapidated, and Colin Richards, one of the great men who was a restorer from Herefordshire, came over with his team. He assessed it. He said, right, we'll start in the spring. However, the next photograph, it all fell down during the winter, on top of her virtually. But in the spring, we did it and completed it within 18 months, and she was very happy. And the next photograph will show you. This is what we're trying, perhaps some of you like this sort of architecture, but this is what we actually were trying to prevent, because certain people didn't necessarily understand how to come into the 21st century and keep the history of the country and the beauty of the architecture. Next photograph shows perhaps you like this one too, but this is what we were trying to prevent, and some examples of what happened. So I'd just like to end by saying that we do small and big projects depending on what each villager would want. And each villager would always contribute in those early days with their own, perhaps they just make tea for the workmen, or they would give a bit of money, or they would actually start doing some of the outside mortar, lime mortar stuff. The smallest of our projects perhaps was almost my most favourite, because I love horses so much. There's one man in the village of Flourished who lived with his baby, his wife and his horse all in one room. And all he wanted was a roof that was actually fine. That was our smallest perhaps project. And this is perhaps our biggest one, which I'm going to end on, because it took 5 years to complete. And it's really thanks to a wonderful American man called David Packard, who was a classical scholar in America who'd actually inherited his father's fortune. And this is what we came across in 1993, very derelict. The next photograph will show you the back of it. We did a lot of research on it. We went into the archives into Bucharest. The next photograph will show you, incidentally, the communists, when they took over in 47, 45, 46, 47, they plundered and ransacked every single building because of any beauty and any worth, because this was the class that had to be destroyed and had to be all the stuff given to the peasants. Of course, 900,000 peasants did receive land back, but they were soon collectivized and it wasn't really given back at all. So here is a concrete kitchen that had been plastered onto it, having ransacked the whole house. This was an Prince Appleby Manor, one of the great Transylvanian princes who ruled in the 17th century. And part of our research showed that it was 3 meters longer. And so the next photograph shows us still digging away. And our philosophy was always to use village work to retrain people who actually got this incredible craftsmanship, just needed the retraining. Next photograph, please. And that will show the interior. This is what we found. There was a slapped-up stage where villagers could perform a bit, but it soon all disintegrated because they were given no help and no money from the mayors. And please notice, perhaps, back on the line by that stove. And now the next photograph shows you how we completed a beautiful library now. And this is the hallway, so that's the room that divided into 2. The next photograph will show you the bedrooms. I just chose a bedroom just to really show you that every form of craft in the village was used to create that room. The embroidery, the weaving, the tiles on the floors, the metalwork. And that is the final photograph of how it was restored in 2007. Actually, that one. So I just want to tell you and perhaps emphasize how important building and architecture is to the history of your wonderful country that you live in. And that could have all been destroyed had Ceausescu lasted a bit longer. 13,000 villages and most of the centres of the Siebenberg and other cities, let alone poor Bucharest, would have been obliterated to create Homo